Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and welcome to my small studio. Now I'm really lucky. I've got a little studio at the bottom of my garden and it is little. It's actually 16 feet across and 25 feet in length. But when I'm out of the studio, that would be luxury because I'm often called upon to take some fantastic shots in really tight spaces. And that's what I'm simulating here. I've reduced it down to 2 meters across and 3 meters in length. That's about 7.5 feet by 10 feet. So what can you do in that really small space? Well, if you're called upon to take some great headshots, you're going to need one of these. This is the Westcott RapidBox Duo Softbox. You can either put 2 speed lights in, or I've got a larger streak light from Adorama, and that's going to be my one and only light source for all of the shots in this video. Okay, so let's get a model in and start taking some shots. So I'm joined in the studio by Iffy. He's going to be my model for today, and to start with I'm just going to do a really basic lighting because sometimes when you find yourself in a tight spot, what you want is a simple lighting setup that just works. This is it. So we've got the softbox around about 45 degrees from our camera position and about the same height as our model as well. I've already metered this out. I know it's going to be f11 and that's my target aperture. So let's just take a shot and see how this goes. Okay, so Iffy, if you can just look at me, marvellous. Just turn your shoulders a little that way, there you go. And just look towards the light. So there you go, 3 really simple shots that just work. The trouble is they're not desperately exciting. We need to do something a little bit better than that to try and get a more interesting shot for Iffy. So for this setup, what I've done is I've taken the RapidBox Duo and I've put it literally 90 degrees to the model, which seems like a strange thing to do, but this shot's going to be a profile picture. And by putting the light here, I should get some interesting effects, particularly as the light is just slightly behind Iffy rather than in front. Now I've already metered this, I know it's f11, so we can take some shots. Now, as well as being a model, Iffy happens to be a grime artist as well, so we're going to get him to do a little bit of that kind of mic work and do a few bars and get some action shots. Okay, so if you want to just hold it there first, we'll test the lighting before we get you going. Now, when I shoot like this, I can see that that works okay, but I'm getting some spill on the background. Now, that could be absolutely fine, but for this shot, I think what I'd like is a totally black background. And we can do it just by changing something on the softbox. Here we go. So what I'm doing is I'm adding this, which is the optional egg crate grid, and this one's made specifically for the RapidBox Duo, so it's a perfect fit. Now the idea with this is it gives you direction to the light but maintains the softness of light. So when the softbox is pointing straight at you, you get to see, well, basically the whole white surface as usual. But the minute it starts to be turned away, then you see less and less of the softbox surface, and that means the light isn't going to hit the background or come in and hit the camera, and it should give me much more directional light. Now the only slight downside is it may just rob you just a little bit of light away, so let's just take another flash meter reading and see how that goes. Do you want to take a little step forward for me? We'll get you back pretty much where you were before. Okay, yeah, I've lost about 2/3 of a stop. Okay, so I'm back to f11. Let's take another shot. Okay, so we'll do a test picture first of all. And that gives a much more dramatic look. And of course, you don't have to have the light at the same height as your model. You can elevate it. Now, when you do that, of course, you may find you lose a little bit of light. So let's just take a meter reading. Yep, it's ever so slightly different. Now, I could adjust the flash power, or I could just say to Iffy, just take a little step forward. And I'm back to f11. Everything works. Okay, let's take a test shot like that. That's fantastic. And if you want to do a few bars.
Flannel, they were washing my face. I'm a huge part of the grind wave. I'm so relaxed, you're so irate. So I left them and went the right way. I make moves down south, vibrate. My numbers keep moving, dice game. Every day is my day, and I'll share with the team when the pie is baked.
Okay, so we get some great shots with that lighting setup, but let's change it around and we'll do one more set. So for this setup, I'm doing something that you probably wouldn't normally do. I've got the softbox facing back at the camera position. And I know normally that's a bad thing, don't shoot into the lights, but if you know what you're doing and you're careful, this can make a really, really interesting shot that's more silhouette than anything else. So I've got Iffy pushed back as close to the softbox as I can because I just don't have the space that I'd need to get him any further away. Let's take a shot and see how it comes out. So I'm coming back here. Here we go, we'll do a little test shot first of all. Now the position of your model is going to be millimetre critical. It's a softbox that's large, but it's not that big. So I need to move Iffy just a little, half a baby step forward. That's it. As simple as that. And now he's neatly fitting inside of my softbox. And that gives a really unique, original and exciting shot. So there you are. If you find yourself in a real tight space and you need to take some great shots, all you need, Rapid Box Duo, a little bit of imagination, and you can come up with some fantastic shots even in the smallest of spaces. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.